I had a whole other career before I did this. For 15 years, I was, running production studios. I was in the film business, and then I ran a theater, and then I had a nightclub and an event business, a catering business, and I had about 75 employees on staff. So to go from that to this, I really like it. My days are numbered here. It's Soho. They get, I don't know, $1,200 a foot or something like that, $2,000 a foot. It's just not going to last forever. I don't know. I'm just playing it by ear. Yeah, I'll be here as long as I can. The reason I chose bikes was funny. It was completely random. Furniture was really my passion and really where I thought I would go with this. And one night, my wife and I were coming home from a restaurant in Soho, Blue Ribbon, and we pass this big construction dumpster. And apparently they were demolishing a brownstone or demolishing a townhouse or something, and they had cleared out the basement bike room. So I look in, and there's like 20 bicycles in this dumpster that someone was throwing out. I'm looking at it, I was like, oh man, look at all that stuff. That's just a shitload of metal right there. And I'm thinking, you know what I could do? I could make like a really cool kind of bicycle-inspired table. Honey, and literally I started jumping into the dumpster, and I started, handing out these old rusted frames to her. And, the funny part of the story is that, as I said at studio, I had, 70, 75 employees. And just then, I'm waist high in trash. And we had only sold the place maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months earlier. So, I'm waist high in trash, in this dumpster. Just then, 3 of my former employees walked by, and they look at me in the dumpster and covered with trash, and they're, man, didn't go well for you, did it? But defining the bikes, yeah, they're some are bicycles, some have engines, some are gas, some are electric. They're really sculptures, and it's funny. I mean, they're moving, working, usable sculptures. I mean, I guess that's the art too. For me, it comes down to, like, a painter is really only governed by the size of his canvas. What goes on that canvas, and the tones, and the just the mood. Completely is dependent on him. Most of my sales, actually, I'm doing one commission piece right now for the first time, and that's, somebody who had a very specific design in mind, and, that's great. It's not quite as exciting for me to do something like that as it is to do, something that's just off the top of my head, that's experimental, and, that I really want to do. But who's complaining? I'll take it. Clearly, the most difficult lifestyle aspect of what I do is having a lifestyle. It's hand to mouth. I mean, this is, it's art. It's not a steady paycheck. It's not an anything. So, and coming from a very stable kind of situation that I was in, kind of a corporate environment where, as long as you had a job, come rain or shine, you got a paycheck every Friday. That's something you didn't really have to worry about. The kind of people that buy them, let's see, there's been, the art aficionados. One guy owned a gallery, and just had a pretty extensive private collection of art and sculpture and paintings. Another guy's a real estate developer. Actually, there's 2 real estate developers that you know, just, well, you know, look, they ain't cheap, and you know, it's art. So you know, my clients tend to be wealthy, and either that or really eccentric. Another guy was a comic book artist. You know, another just, you know, kind of crazy eccentric guy, but does very well. He, I guess, works for Marvel Comics and has a bunch of very successful titles that he pencils and does very well. And he likes to be outrageous and funky, so he wanted me to design it. Like crazy guy for him. Alrighty, I love it.
Thank you so much.
No problem, baby. No problem.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. MoMA, come on, the Louvre. Look, ultimately, yeah, that's the goal. That's, you know, that's my personal kind of, you know, wouldn't that be great if it were, you know, if I could achieve that high art plateau and really get people to appreciate it on that kind of level. You know, but anything between being able to make a living and that will certainly be acceptable. It's like anything else. There's pressures, there's, you know, family stuff, but, you know, it's when you enjoy what you do, there's just, you know, there's no regrets. There's no, you know, my only regret would be if I had to give it up because of financial instability. And, you know, the next year or two will tell me that. You know, I can afford to do this for about another year or two more on the level that I'm doing it now with the savings that I have. But I feel good about it, you know. I feel good about it that, you know, even if it's not this, even if, you know, I'm not selling bicycles or, you know, I'm selling, you know, motorbikes or sculptures, I think it's going to be something, you know, along the lines of what I'm doing, whether it's, you know, a line of lighting fixtures that are handmade or, you know, I don't know, maybe it's a Willy Loman kind of thing, being a, you know, a happy man with a batch of cement, but I'm just a happier guy doing, you know, the physical labor. It's not really labor, but, you know, fulfilling my art, fulfilling my passion. I'm much happier doing that than doing anything else. So, you know, it's funny, you ask me if I have any regrets of throwing away the corporate life to do this. Hell no. Hell no.